So here's an article I found on my less used browser. Rotherham grooming gang leader, already serving 23 years in prison, admits to raping girl 13. The leader of a Rotherham grooming gang that for nearly 2 decades SA exploited some 1,400 children has pleaded guilty to raping a girl 13. Prosecutors say as he groomed the victim, Akbar would threaten to leave her stranded if she did not comply with his demands. On one occasion, when she did refuse to engage in SA, she recalled having to walk for hours after she was kicked out of the car by Akbar in the early hours of the morning. The Crown Prosecution Service, CPS, said Akbar pleaded guilty today to 2 counts of rape and 2 counts of indecent SA, which he committed between August 2001 and July 2002. He will be sentenced at Sheffield Crown Court on December 18th. And these other individuals in the picture, I guess, are his accomplices. I can't help but notice a pattern here. They all seem to be foreigners. But hey, diversity is our strength, right? So this Akbar guy is already serving 23-year prison sentence after being convicted in 2018 of SA offense as part of Operation Stovewood, one of the largest police investigations into child SE and abuse in the UK. So my question is, why are these guys getting prison sentences? Why don't they get the death penalty? It says in the article here that he targeted young and vulnerable girls and used drugs and alcohol to groom her for SE. The lifelong physical and emotional trauma caused to victims by men like Akbar cannot be understated. Yeah, so again, these criminals, degenerate monsters, should have gotten the death penalty. 2 reasons why. 1, it would have given their victims some measure of solace, knowing that the people who did these horrific crimes to them are in the deepest circle of hell where they belong. But instead, they're in a prison. Now, when I think of Western prisons, especially Western European prisons, I'm thinking 3 square meals a day, TV, computer, internet access, and gymnasium and dental and healthcare. I could be wrong, I hope I'm wrong, but from what I've heard, I don't think I am wrong. Alright, back to the article. In a scandal which struck terror in the northern English town of just 257,000 people, children, some as young as 11, were beaten, raped, and trafficked with impunity from 1997 to 2013 as the authorities turned the other way. I wonder why they turned the other cheek. Does it have something to do with race? Probably. Victims were doused with petrol and threatened with being set on fire if they reported their abusers to police. A stomach-churning 2014 report found. Again, why didn't these guys get the death penalty? And as for the authorities that turned the other cheek, I sure hope they were prosecuted too. So these monsters made children watch as they brutally raped other children in front of them to make an example out of them. Again, why weren't they given a short drop and a sudden stop? Alex J., the author of the report and a former chief social worker, inspector, etc., said many of the victims came from disadvantaged backgrounds. Yeah, because they're a lot easier to take advantage of. And it almost always started off the same way, meeting their abuser in public places with high streets or bus stations, being introduced to alcohol and drugs before a relationship with one man, and then they could just threaten to tell everybody or show people pictures, and that's how they were able to blackmail the children. Vulnerable girls were taken to cities to be exploited, like sex slaves in Sheffield, Manchester, and London, with men selling or bartering the teens for drugs and firearms, the report said. Jay said it is hard to describe the appalling nature of the abuse child victims suffered, adding that 1,400 victim count is a conservative estimate. Jay said the majority of perpetrators were of Pakistani heritage, several working in nighttime industries such as cab drivers, while the children were mainly white. Yeah, youth workers had been sounding the alarm for years, the report added, yet the blatant failures from local officials led to the abuse continuing. So I hope these local officials get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. These failures occurred despite reports between 2002 and 2006, which could not have been more clear in the description of the situation in Rotherham. Description as in the perps weren't white. One of the reports was downplayed as senior officers did not believe its claims, while the other two were ignored, Jay said. Akbar was thought to be the ringleader of a 6-man grooming gang. Looks like 6 altogether to me in this picture. Operation Stovewood has led to 1,300 crimes being identified, 209 people arrested. All those people should get the death penalty. And 20 convictions, the NCA has said. Those convicted have been handed prison sentences totaling around 250 years, the agency said. I have a better idea. Give them a short drop and a sudden stop. Then you won't have to pay to feed them and house them and pay for their health care bill and their dental bill. But hey, for Becker, she hopes that Akbar's conviction sends a clear message that the CPS, working alongside the NCA, will continue to relentlessly pursue justice and prosecute those who SA children whenever that abuse takes place. The message is, if you do a crime, you get sent to a place where you get 3 meals a day, healthcare, dental, and a roof over your head. So, that message is pretty clear. In this guy's opinion, a short drop and a sudden stop would be a much clearer message. But, I'm just a simple guy like that, you know? Well, anyway, take care out there in this asinine clown world.